Vinyl toilet seat covers with your family name embroidered on it. Well, that's just the absolute perfect thing to put in my bathroom that is carpeted in coral. Hello, it's Dan from Slashdance. We're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of this album of derivative goth and industrial rock. If you want a copy on vinyl, it's on sale right now for $20 on Ancient Temple Records, $20 Canadian. It's on every streaming platform. We have 2 music videos out that we did in the last year. And while this album does try to recreate the 1980s sound musically, on this channel we spend a lot of time with retro gems such as the 1986 Sears Christmas Wishbook. With this catalog being 35 years old now, I thought it would just be fun to flip through it together and just see what kind of toys, clothes, gift ideas that Sears had on offer in 1986. I picked this up for a couple of bucks at Route 10 Retro, which is my favorite retro collectible shop in Atlantic Canada. I find that when these catalogs, it's always these toys that aren't iconic that always come flooding back. And I think that that's something that we're going to try to look for in here and kind of spend some time on. Like, the first thing I noticed when I opened up the book was this was the first thing I noticed. It sort of, I don't know how we landed on that page, but yeah, that is H, the animal skin print bikini for men. So the thing that actually jumped out at me was things like this Sears Auto Race game. Like, I kind of totally forgot about this. Cousin had it. It was like not fun, but man, when you were a kid, like that thing was fascinating. When I was a kid, I would always start reading these from the back because that's where the toys were. So if toys are your thing, I'm going to start in the back and do it the same way I did when I was a kid. And we'll just move our way to the front and we'll see if it's like, you know, if you want to tap out after the toys, but before we get to the bra section or whatever we get to, you know, tap out whenever. So let's begin. Back cover, big sell here, the $37 for our Wrinkles. The Wrinkles toys, the dogs. Sister had one. Like, I don't know. They were just, man, those were expensive. Like, I think the Millennium Falcon was like $40 back then. Like, that's an expensive Wrinkles toy. But I remember they were really popular. And obviously they made the back cover, so that was huge. But on the inside cover, more Wrinkles. We got some Popples. Popples was another one I didn't have. I did think that they were cool. Another one. Sister had Popple, had the green Popple, the smaller one. According to this, his name is Putter, and that came back to me. If your parents didn't want to get you a Wrinkle, you could spend $10 less and get pound puppies. Well, remember how sad the ads were? They were like,
those lonely pound puppies really need to be rescued.
You know what happens at the pound in the 1980s, you know? You better adopt that pound puppy, My Little Pony, before the bronies picked up on it. Care Bears, the sleepy one or the grumpy one. What was the main character's name? Share Bear? Yeah. I love Gem. I mean, like, Gem holds up better than all the Sunbow cartoons put together. Like, sorry Transformers and sorry G.I. Joe, but like Gem, like, you will go back and watch them. Like, that show ruled. Gem, they were a band. The Misfits, they were, you know, awesome. And then the third band, the Stingers, it was like some like hunky dude and he had like 2 babes with him that looked like Mitsu. Like, they had the 80s Mitsu hat. You think that Gem's actual competition was the Misfits, but their competition was Barbie and the Rockers. I brought my sister to see a band called Barbie and the Rockers lip sync at our local mall. And then after the gig, I was in line behind Ken at Orange Julius. So where's that guy now? Is that on his resume? Like, oh, I was Ken in Barbie and the Rockers. We played Champlain Place in 1986. Music loving Ken. They're listening to a Walkman. They're both listening to Ministry Twitch. You can tell. My Child, you know, that's a good 80s graphic. I like that. Some Cabbage Patch Kids. Those are weird, man. Like, I never got those then. I still don't get them now. Although this one here's a Blue Jay, and he kind of looks like Kelly Gruber. So there's Blue Jays and Expos because this is in Canada. So I guess I can get behind that. Oh, look, Hello Kitty's in here. That's Hello Color. It's a color change. I remember that now. There's like a color changing Hello Kitty. There's an easy bake oven. You cook things with a light. Get in shape, girl. Exercise equipment for little girls. Like to, you know, get in shape. It was aerobics and it was the 80s. And I don't know if that would fly right now. But Princess of Power, yeah, that was He-Man's sister. That was another pretty cool show. It probably doesn't hold up. He-Man doesn't hold up that well. Sorry if you're a big fan. I don't see Hordak. He was cool. Yeah, so now we're looking at Transformers. This was after the movie, so there's like Rodimus Prime and Tripticon, Skylink. So yeah, Blur. You know, I really like the post 1986 Transformers episodes. I think those were the strongest ones. The original ones didn't have the Cybertronic spree, so if you've never seen the Cybertronic spree, you should. There we go, Robotech. Now, like, man, like when I was a kid, like Robotech, Voltron, like when you're 9 in the 80s, you don't know what anime is. You're just like, these cartoons are clearly better than the other cartoons. And that was Robotech and Voltron. Like, so yeah, holy cow. Like, they got some Cyclones and some Invid, Chiron's Battle Pod, this is Zentradi Officer Battle. Yeah, oh man. My friend Giorgio has all of these. He bought them when as a kid, like when they were going out of some toy store was going out of business. They're pretty awesome. He's probably watching this. Hi. Centurions, those were cool. Like that's like a franchise that never, you never saw again. It just sort of was of the time, but like those were really cool. Everybody liked those. M.A.S.K was like a terrible show. Like they were cool toys. I had a couple of them. I had Thunderhawk sports car. It's supposed to be like a Mustang or something. Here's Masters of the Universe. Hordak is in the Masters of the Universe line, but he was She-Ra's villain, right? Like, so I don't know. I guess they thought guys would like want Hordak, but they were right. Real men. Real men don't read 1986 toy catalogs. Real men play football and soccer. So, I don't know. Thundercats, greatest theme song, the 80s, for sure. Voltron, another, like, one of my 2 favorites, for sure, from the time. Go Lion, it was the best, You could tell something was going on. It was so violent. And you knew that they had cut some stuff. Like, Sven didn't go in a coma. Sven died. We all knew it. Castle of Lions, that was really cool. I had that. It was like secondhand. Inhumanoids, if there's anything that sums up the 80s, just being like they didn't care about what kids thought. Like, kids like monsters. We had Inhumanoids. They would yell like, decompose! And we'd be like, yeah, decompose. This is the point of the video where I ask you to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification if you like what you're seeing. Whatever it is that you're seeing, or just carry on with the video. Me and you, we're cool either way, right? Right. This has been unpopular since I was a child, and I'm probably going to catch heat for it, but like, I still sort of like GoBots more than Transformers. If you ever see the Japanese Machine Robo commercials, they make them look like the coolest toys ever. I think they're really slick. Especially now. Like, there's ones we never got here. One turns into a Shinkansen. Like, Dragon Force looks like they were trying to make toys of Chuck Norris without paying him. Because just lower down, there is Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos. I mentioned this in my video about the Omnibot, but it's the G.I. Joe USS Flag, which at the time was like the most expensive, craziest toy anybody had ever seen. And according to this, it was like $150. So, it's not too bad, I guess, in retrospect. Only the richest kids had it, like the like the kid in 8-Bit Christmas. There we go. WWF Wrestling Superstars. There's Macho Man Randy Savage. That's such a cool one. Hulk Hogan, King Kong Bundy, The Ring. I had The Ring, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. This is an early line. Like, I don't see like the Hart Foundation or anything like that. I guess 1986, they probably would have been there, but they wouldn't have been cool enough to get action figures. Laser tag. I actually got the laser tag gun the same place that I got this catalog, but it's packed away. One player laser tag from 1986. Probably not too much fun, but that's another rich kid toy. They were still selling Atari 2600 in here. They're pretty cheap. They're like $4, $5, and some really good games. Plaque Attack, Sequest, like I love those games. Still, Tomy robots. There's a Hootbot and the Spotbot, Dingbot. Those were fun. They always had a bunch of Tonka trucks. Hot Wheels City. I loved Hot Wheels City. You just put the car at the top and it would go all the way down, kind of like 3D Bot Maker. We have some slot racers and train kits. There's Transformers. There's Miami Vice. There's M.A.S.K. I had the M.A.S.K set. I don't know why I wanted it. And some of the stuff starts getting a little educational. You got like a microscope. You got like wood burning kits because, here, go burn some wood for fun, children. Try not to hurt yourself. Somehow sliding into the educational toys were robotics, which I love robotics. Those were super cool. I had a couple of those, and you would just build stuff with motors and, robotics. Those were rad. Lego, they had some pretty basic sets. Like that was a police station, apparently. Oh man, Ice Busters. Basically an ice grater for kids. I had a Snoopy version. Never really used it. Light Bright, oh, classic. This car driving game called the Fun to Drive. If you were like a little kid, that was like actually really, really fun, even though, there's no game. It's just, you're just doing this. Things that made music. There was like a phone that made music. There was like these frogs that made music. Mr. Potato Head, some Speak and Saves. There was a couple of them here. You got Speak and Music, Speak and Read, Speak and Math, some pseudo computers for children. Here we got some sleeping bags. There's Princess of Power, the Centurion sleeping bag. Like how rad would that be? You just show up to sleepover with like your Centurion's sleeping bag. Oh, it's a tent, but it's got Optimus Prime on it. Board games is kind of like the advent of VCR board games. There seems to be a Clue one. Rod hockey game. I obviously still love that because I've got checks over there. I remember mine, like it always came with the Maple Leafs and the Canadians, and like I'm a Calgary Flames fan, so you had to like mail away to get the Calgary Flames or Hartford Whalers or Quebec Nordiques or whoever else you wanted. Bunch of cool board games. Ping pong, I had that. It didn't work very well. Mr. Mouth, always wanted to play it, never did. Bed Bugs, that was crazy, made a lot of noise. Operation, another classic. Brown Clue, like Clue with the brown packaging. That was like a Wheel of Fortune. That would have been super fun. There's a turntable for kids. It's probably almost as bad for your records as a Crosley. Some walkie-talkies. Those are rad if you're a kid and you have a friend with some of those. Children's drum kit. Some hyper dangerous GT snow racer. Fruit cake. You can order a fruit cake from Sears. Like you're gonna order food from the Sears catalog. Hard pass on that one, Chief. Some luxurious clocks. I always saw these clocks and thought they were from the 70s, but apparently they were still happening in 1986. Save 40% on a fully carpeted bathroom in pink. The floor is carpeted. There's a mat around the toilet. It's on the toilet. It's around the tank. It's just carpet everywhere. Like just a biological nightmare. It's just, I see these in some other catalogs I've looked at and like I just never get over it. And it's always like pink or sea foam or coral. Carpeted bathroom. Here we go. We got some Sears guitars, and it's going to sound like I'm bagging on them, but I actually enjoy a cheap guitar. So possibly not this cheap, but, like I don't know how good this sort of knockoff Eddie Van Halen looking guitar is here. But, the right kind of garage band could probably pull a sound out of these. It would actually be pretty cool. Some Casio keyboards, including the SK1, which actually was an 8-bit sampler. It could sample 8 bits for 2 seconds or something, a second and a half. Not terribly useful. Probably sounds okay, though. I used 8-bit samples all over the record, which should be up. It isn't. Oh, man, like, check out this couple and the rad tape decks. The CGE sidestep looks as good as it sounds. If I saw either of these Maison Ikoku looking tape decks, I would buy them in a heartbeat. I love tape decks from this era, just the colors, like, like this thing got like a strap on it that's like the same color as the Get in Shape girl from earlier. There's a weird little insert in here for a boombox with a crummy black and white TV on it, but I bet you at the time we were probably like, ooh, boombox with television. Next to that, there's a bunch of VCRs. There's a whole bunch of different models of VCRs. VCRs were expensive, man, like $700. Dear Lord. Cost as much as a PlayStation 5 in 1980s dollars, and everybody had one. It's kind of an interesting mix of modern TVs and then like the old grandpa style floor models, which are just gigantic. Man, here we go. There's like a page of art. Look at this. See, it's called Fascination with a gold frame, and it's like a cat and a lady in like this clouds. This triple art. It's like, oh, there's some flowers on a piano. All of this art is glorious. It's all glorious. Bonsai tree. If anybody has Fascination, wants to send it to your boy, I'll put it up here in Slashdance Studios. hockey jerseys, including the Burger King looking Vancouver Canucks and the Quebec Nordiques. Man, for some reason, for $10,000, you can get this shuttle Tidarium looking golf cart in here for like 10 grand in the 80s. You know, what did a car cost back then? The Sun Classic, the ultimate choice in a golf cart. I would say so. I thought the 1980s guitars from a Sears catalog are rad. Well, look at these 1986 skate decks. There's the Demon and the Imposter. Exercise equipment, you can get as fit as this red headband guy right here. Monogram Bathrobe. I actually asked for that the first year that I was with my wife for Christmas. I want a Monogram Bathrobe. And I have one. I don't know what's going on in this picture, but I feel like it's implying something. Classy looking men in their tuxedos. This guy here has got a Fiore jacket, so he looks like he's going to be on Evening at the Improv. If we take a look here at the sweater shop, it's a color scheme. Pink and teal and light blue. These three dudes are just repping Levi's. Everyone on these two pages is going to get nerds trouble or run a ski slope or something. I was going to make a Miami Vice joke about these kids, but like right on the same page, there's actually like Miami Vice shirts to go with it. So these girls over here have got Popple's pajamas, which are infinitely cooler than whatever on earth that is. On the other hand, this kid over here is wearing a Superman pajamas, and it has a cape, and he has the Christopher Reeve little swirl in his hair. So that's cool. All right, now check this out. Computer shoe. Give him the thinking man's jogger. Our Puma RS comes with software package and measures distance run, trains, motivates, and also helps them meet objectives. Apple II Plus, Commodore 64, IBM. How did that work? I'm going to have to definitely look into the computer shoe. Anybody out there own a pair of Puma RSs? And is it better than a Fitbit? Some styling women's boots here in a variety of colors. A couple of pages of cowboy boots for ladies. Sawnette suit. Wear it when you're relaxing or doing light exercise. Holds in heat to induce perspiration. You don't hear about that anymore. That was like, if you needed to make a losing weight joke in the 80s, that was the go-to. Man, look at these red hair dryers. Pink, blue, yellow, lighter pink. And then there's a page here of extremely 1986 watches. Some 80s mom necklace and earrings right here. This image for rings is rad. It would actually make a good like new wave album cover. Some fake fur coats. Delightfully daring. These next to nothing numbers will definitely be high on her list. Glamorous loungers, styled with ease and colored to add radiance to your Christmas morning. I dig it. Muted pales herald a new freshness for winter. A couple of flamboyant looks here for an evening out on the town. At first glance, I actually thought this was Heather's. Whatever's happening here in C, bring that back. And then at the beginning of all these books, which is the end for us because we're going backwards, there was always these sections, gifts under $30, under $20. So if you wanted to spend $30 on a Garfield mirror wall clock where he's got toothpaste on his head, under $30, a box of 22 Marvel and DC comics, random, in a box. Vinyl toilet seat covers with your family name embroidered on it. Well, that's just the absolute perfect thing to put in my bathroom that is carpeted in coral. Under $20, you can get 2 blank VHS tapes. Apparently they're $10 each for a Fuji 6-hour tape. Hot air popcorn maker. People don't really remember how brown the 1980s were, and like that color sums it up pretty well. So you can get a sweater, University of Playboy. Jenga, so popular in the 80s. Mentioned the Sears Auto Racer off the top. Gifts under $15. A fan lamp, you know, Merry Christmas. Here's a fan lamp. You can get a bath towel with Soundwave on it, or you can get a really cool colored AM FM radio. No tape deck, just radio. Gifts under 10, key finder, towel with kids' names on it, Canadian hockey teams. And I guess I'll just leave you once again because I know you liked it so much the first time. Animal skin print bikini for men. So yeah, that was the 1986 Sears Christmas Wishbook. If you made it to the end, congratulations. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. If you really like what you saw, hit the subscribe button. So, you know, next time I decide to do something like this, you can be the first to know. I thank you very much for watching. I love y'all, and I'll talk to you next time. Merry Christmas.